Happy spooky season! I tried to decorate, but I really misjudged like the amount of decoration that I'd need. Can you see the pumpkins? So like we're kind of festive. I got some little light up pumpkins that go on my shelf, and I got some little glittery pumpkins that go on my shelf, which I love. And like we tried. That's fallen down. That be right back. So, as it is October, I'm very excited about that. We love spooky season. October is my favourite month of the year. I want to share with you guys some books that I want to read this month that are particularly thriller books. As it builds up to October, this stuff is like, I'm very into it. So I have a bunch of thrillers. Some of them have been on my shelf for ages that I really need to read, and some of them I've got recently, so I thought I would share them with you. So the first one that I got recently is The Witch Amulet by Tana French, and this focuses on Toby, whose life has always been sort of pretty normal, like nothing bad's really happened to him. One night changes everything, and to kind of get away from everything he heads up to his old like family house, the Ivy house, which is full of really lovely memories. Like, so he wants to go there to kind of reconnect with all of that, but he discovers a skull, like a human skull, under one of the trees, and suddenly his family life and everything he thought he knew gets uprooted, and he kind of has to figure out his family history and what's going on. I've seen this book around a lot. The cover really drew me in, to be honest, and when I found out that it was a kind of mystery slash thrillery book, I knew I wanted to pick it up, so I got to this one. I've read like 7 pages, like I've barely read any. I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow and I'm gonna take it as like a train book or if I get any free time book and read some more of it while I'm there. The second one I got recently was The Last by Hannah Jameson, and this book was really interesting to me. The world has ended in a nuclear war, and you and 19 other survivors have ended up in a Swiss hotel, and you kind of think everything's as okay as it can be, but then someone ends up dead, and it's kind of, is there a killer like loose in these 19 people that are in the hotel, and who's doing this? And it's kind of trying to find the killer before they find you. And I love stuff like this. This is kind of something I really love, and that mystery and figuring out who did it. So I'm really buzzing to read this one this month. Then this book's been on my shelf for probably like 2 years or so, and that's The Circle by Dave Eggers. This is something that I find really interesting. I get very Black Mirror vibes from the synopsis of this, and this is the circle who kind of controls everything that you have, the internet and all of that, in one safe space. And it focuses on May Holland, who's just got a job at the California branch, and it's kind of the biggest leading company in the world, and she feels like she's made it because she's got this job. And when she kind of gets closer to the center of the circle, she starts to realize that it might not be as great, and there's some kind of sinister truths about the circle and their kind of goal of what they're trying to do with the rest of the world. So I love stuff like this because I find technology and science really cool. I think it's absolutely incredible what it can do, but it can also is something which I think can go too far, and I think one day will go too far. So I love the books that kind of explore that and explore the issues of technology and how scary it can be. Then I won't go too much into this because I have spoken about this a lot in a lot of my recent like TBR videos, but I still haven't got around to it because it's me. But I am reading it this month, absolutely 100%, and that's Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I've said this before obviously, but in case you haven't seen my videos, then this book focuses on Illingham Academy, which was set up by Mr. Illingham, but his wife and his daughter went missing, and the only kind of evidence, I guess, was this riddle, like mocking riddle, left in their place. It's many years later, and Stevie Bell, who is obsessed with true crime, comes to the academy, and she is focused on solving the mystery and finding out what happened to Illingham's wife and daughter. It's like a boarding school, and I love boarding school stories, especially mixed with like mystery and thriller, so I'm super excited to read this one. It has a sequel as well, which is called The Vanishing Star, which I need to get. And then also this book has been on my shelf for years, and this is very similar to me with the Twilight Saga, is that I needed to reread it and kind of decide if I was going to get rid of it. I've not read this book, but it's been on my shelf for so long, and I think I just need to make that decision, and that's The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. This book came out in 2016, where I was kind of over my Twilight phase, but was interested to read what else she'd written, but I just never got round to it. And this book is on an ex-agent of the US government, and she kind of is now on the run from them. She was part of the group which was so kind of like had some of the darkest secrets. It didn't even have a name, and now she's kind of on the run and trying to deal with everything that happens after that. I have heard good things about this, and to be honest, like, I don't have much of an issue with Stephenie Meyer's writing. I think the plot of Twilight and kind of the way the story goes is a bit wild. I mean, Renesmee, but I don't particularly have an issue with the way that she writes. There's a couple of things that I do, but her writing is not my main issue when I read Twilight, and I enjoyed The Host, so I'm interested to see what I think about this one, and I'm planning on getting through it this month. And then finally, this book comes out on the 8th of October, so I haven't got it yet, obviously, and that is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo is one of my favourite authors. She wrote one of my all-time favourite series, the Grisha First series, the Grisha trilogy, and then Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Ninth House is about Alex Stern. She dropped out of school, was involved with drug use, and by the time she is 20, she's been involved with a multiple homicide case. While she's kind of on her deathbed, she gets offered this chance to attend Yale and kind of start again, but she's wondering why she's been chosen and what the catch of this is. So she ends up in Yale, but she is told she has to kind of monitor the activities of some of the groups, and it ends up a little bit darker and a little bit more complex than she originally thought. I am really looking forward to reading this book. Like I said, I love Leigh Bardugo so much. I haven't read this book yet, obviously, but I have heard there's lots of trigger warnings, so please, if you like the sound of it, please go and check out those trigger warnings before you read it, because I don't know if they're 100% in the book, so like as a warning, so please check that out first. So yeah, so that are some of the books that I'm planning on reading this October. Obviously I'm still on my Percy Jackson, Rick Riordan book read, but they're not thrillery, so we won't go down there. If you guys are new here, then I make videos a couple of times a week about books and fandomy things, so if you want to stick around and join us, then you can do that. And as usual, all the links to my other social media is in the description down below. I'd love to know which books you're planning on reading this October, because I'm always up for recommendations. Hope you guys are doing really well, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!